What's up, guys? Brian with American Legacy. Wednesday, we're back again with another Ultimate Rod video, and we got clip-on mics this time. Like, we're moving up. We're trying to do this the right way. We had a couple people say that the audio wasn't very good. I blamed Rob, the video guy. He told me it was that we didn't have any wireless mics. What are these called, Rob?
DJI mics.
DJI mics. So we got some, we put them on. We're going to see if he can manage to get this done and make the audio sound good. So we're listening to feedback, point being. All right, we have enlisted some assistance today because we're going to talk about glide bait rods. And so we've got our resident big bait expert, Jacob, who's going to go through his selections for what we want in the ultimate glide bait rod. So I'm going to toss it over to him, let him get started, give you a little bit of criteria on what we're looking for in a good glide bait rod. Jacob, take it away.
All right, guys, we're talking about glide baits today. For this video, we're going to be talking about 7-inch to 8-inch glides and under. Weight range, we're probably talking, it could go down to as low as maybe 1.5 ounces all the way up to 5 ounces. Some of the things I look for in a glide bait rod, I want to use a rod that is as soft as I can get away with. You are throwing a bait with treble hooks. They are pretty heavy to cast, but once you get them in the water, there's not much resistance in the water. There's not much weight. So if I could have a little softer tip, that's what I prefer. A lot of what you're doing with a glide bait is you're using the reel to work the bait, whether you're, getting wide with glides or you're chopping it back and forth really quick. That being said, I don't want it to be too soft. I don't want to have to baby it whenever I'm casting it. So I do need backbone, and that's important. The other side of that is when you have enough tip, you can keep them pinned. You don't have to worry about them throwing the bait because they can get a lot of leverage. And if you give them any slack, that could be a recipe for losing a fish. So those are some of the things that I look for in a glide bait rod. I've got 4 different options here. We're going to be going with a series of different price points. We've got $150 and under, I believe $250 and under, and then price doesn't matter. Give me the best. So let's start out with the first one here. We got a Fenwick. This one, I'm breaking the rules a little bit on this one. It does retail for $160.
If you want to buy this, just call us. We'll sell it to you for $149.99.
There you go. Give us a call. So the first one we're going to start out with is the Fenwick HMG. This is the HMGB 78MH-FC. So it is a swim bait rod. It's rated 1 to 4 ounces. So this is going to be, on the lighter side. This is the one I'm going to recommend to the guy who's just wanting to dip his toe in the water. And maybe you're going to be throwing glides that are 5 to 6 inches long, and you don't need all of the extra backbone. It's got a really nice soft tip. It's got a long handle that you can tuck up under your arm for leverage. It's got plenty of backbone, and overall, these HMG rods don't sleep on a lot of these Fenwicks. They really made a good product.
Can you explain to the viewers? I'm sure some people will hear that part number and hear the MH and see that that's a medium heavy rod. Explain to people the differences in how rods are rated from a traditional bass rod to like a swim bait rod, because I'm sure some people, if they're just getting into the glide market, they may see medium heavy and think, no, I need something heavier. Just go into that a little bit if you don't mind.
Sure. With this technique, you are dealing with baits that weigh a lot more than a traditional technique. So in the grand scheme of things, with this being 1 to 4 ounces, this is going to be on the lighter side of what's considered a swim bait rod. So that's kind of where the medium heavy comes from on this. I wouldn't invest too much into that. Really, what you're going to be looking for is the right, the weight range. You want to pay attention to that, and then you want to pay attention to, does it have enough tip? Does it have enough backbone? I wouldn't put too much into the medium heavy. It's just a nice, I guess, guideline when you are purchasing a rod.
Yeah, and that medium heavy it's classified as a medium heavy in a swim bait series. So that's a totally different mandrel and a totally different, I guess, wrapping process for the graphite that's used versus what you would typically think of with a traditional like bottom contact rod. So just keep that in mind, that this is not going to feel like a medium heavy 7'2" jig rod that you pull off the shelf. It's a totally different action and taper.
Yep. All right, let's move up to $250. For this price range, I selected the Dobyns Champion XP, the 795 swim bait. It's going to share a lot of the same characteristics as the HMG I just talked about. It's got a really nice soft tip that transitions into backbone maybe halfway down the rod. Really, all around, this may be my top choice, just as far as value and, performance. It's sensitive. It's got the right amount of backbone. It's got the right tip. It has the longer handle that you can tuck up under your arm. And it's a nice looking rod.
Yeah, I really like that big EVA foam. It just feels more like a true swim bait, glide bait rod. And this is probably, just for anybody that cares, this is probably one of our, volume sellers. It's probably one of our top picks. And to be fair, this Champion XP, excellent choice. I'm sure there's a lot of you in the under 150 that were probably thinking maybe a Fury 795 and also that Dobyns line. Excellent choice. We just decided to go, with since we already had a 795 here in the Champion series in that 250 range, 300 range, we wanted to go with the HMG to give you a couple different options. But if you want to drop down, get the same model but in a Fury series, excellent choice for, I think they're $139.99. So that's a great rod too. But yeah, I'll let you get back to the big expensive ones here.
All right, now I've got two for the I don't care about the price, just give me the best. First, I'm going to go with this G Loomis IMX Pro. It's the 965 SWBR swim bait rod. It's 8 foot long. It's rated 2 to 6 ounces, so it's going to be perfect right in that weight range of, most of the glides that you're going to throw that are 7 inches are going to, range from 2 to 5 ounces. It's got a softer tip on it. I think a lot of guys would probably come to you and say, well, I think I need the 966, and I think that's a little too stiff. I like the tip to be a little softer. I can cast it better. I can feel it when it's in the water better. You keep your fish pinned better. And then, the next thing is it's got the nice long handle that we were talking about. It is a little bit longer of a rod, which I don't think is necessarily a bad or a good thing. I think, it's going to work about the same as the others that we've talked about. It's G Loomis, so you know what you're getting there. Sensitive, great, crisp actions. Yeah.
Made in the good old US of A.
Yep, 955 swim bait. So next we're going to talk about, we're going to really take the price doesn't matter to the extreme here.
You're going to have a fun bonus option, we'll call it.
I was looking through the store and this one just popped out to me. It's the Megabass Destroyer TS Blackjack. Man, it looks great. The action's right. What I would want for a glide bait rod. It's got the long handle off the back. The weight range is a half all the way up to 4 ounces, so you're not going to really be able to throw any of the bigger ones, but For this video, we're not talking about the bigger ones. We're talking about glide baits like the Spro Chad Shad. We're talking about the Bait Sanity Antidote's a really good one. Depth's Slide Swimmer 175, that's another one I really like throwing. All of those baits weigh 2 to 5 ounces, and this rod right here will throw those perfectly. It's going to load up on the cast. It's got double foot guides on it. It's got the quality that everyone expects and just the cool factor that everyone expects from Megabass. And yeah, this would be, if I'm not thinking about price, this is my pick.
You mentioned the cool factor. You know what else has the cool factor?
What's that?
Is if you would go down below and subscribe. So I was told I need to be more cheesy with the request to subscribe. So that's what we're doing. That's as cheesy as I can make it. I'm not doing it again. So anyway, glide baits. Jacob, thank you for that. Jacob's a big time big bait specialist, and anybody that has talked to him for any amount of time knows he's one of the most thorough, detail-oriented dudes you'll find. So whenever he's picking through rods, he's not just some guy that goes and grabs one and says, oh, that feels fine. Like he's on it. So these are all great options. If you haven't tried glide bait fishing, it is so much fun. I mean, even if you don't need to get into any of this crazy high-end stuff to start out, just get a Fury, get an HMG, get a couple of Spro Chad Shads. They're still expensive. We're talking about a $60 bait, but they're not. You're not spending several $100s on one bait. Get a couple of them, go out there, get some big line, and chuck this thing around. You will be shocked at the number of fish you just see like come up to your bait. Even if you don't catch them, it's still fun. The whole thing's just a blast. So we appreciate you guys watching. These we're having a lot of fun with this. We're going to keep cranking them out, and we hope you guys will keep watching. But yeah, we'll see you next time.